California Gold Rush, January 24th, 1848 through 1855. At the beginning of the gold rush, there was no law regarding property rights in the gold fields, and a system of staking claims was developed. Prospectors retrieved the gold from streams and riverbeds using simple techniques such as panning. Although mining caused environmental harm, more sophisticated methods of gold recovery were developed and later adopted around the world. Gold was discovered in California as early as March 9, 1842, at Rancho San Francisco, the mountains north of present-day Los Angeles. California native Francesco Lopez was searching for stray horses and stopped on the bank of a small creek about 3 miles east of present-day Newhall, California, and about 35 miles northwest of L.A. While the horses grazed, Lopez dug up some wild onions and found a small gold nugget in the roots among the bulbs. He looked further and found more gold. Lopez took the gold to the authorities, who confirmed its worth. Lopez and others began to search for other stream beds with gold deposits in the area. They were found in several northeastern sections of the forest within present-day Ventura County. In January 1849, 9 months into the Mexican-American War, the Treaty of Chaghugan was signed, leading to the resolution of the military conflict in Alta California. On January 24, 1848, James W. Marshall found shiny metal in the trail race of lumber mill he was building for Sacramento pioneer John Stutter, known as Stutter's Mill, near Coloma on the American River. Marshall brought what he found to Stutter, and the two privately tested the metal. After the test showed that it was gold, Stutter expressed dismay, wanting to keep the news quiet because he feared that what would happen to his plans for an agricultural empire if there were a gold rush in the region. The Mexican-American War ended on February 2nd with the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo, which formally transferred California to the United States. The first people to rush to the gold fields beginning in the spring of 1848 were the residents of California themselves, primarily agriculture-oriented Americans and Europeans living in Northern California, along with native Californians and some Californios. These first miners tended to be families in which everyone helped in the effort. Women and children of all ethnicities were often found panning next to the men. Some enterprising families set up boarding houses to accommodate the influx of men. In such cases, the women often brought in steady income while their husbands searched for gold. New methods of transportation developed as steamships came into regular service. By 1869, railroads were built from California to the eastern United States. At its peak, technological advances reached a point where significant financing was required, increasing the proportion of gold companies to individual miners. Gold worth tens of billions today, U.S. dollars, were recovered, which led to the great wealth for few, though many who participated in the California Gold Rush earned little more than they had started with. Huge numbers of newcomers were driving Native Americans out of their traditional hunting, fishing, and food-gathering areas. To protect their homes and livelihoods, some Native Americans responded by attacking the miners. This provoked counterattacks on native villages. The Native Americans, outgunned, were often slaughtered. Those who escaped massacres were many times unable to survive without access to their food-gathering areas, and they starved to death. The effects of the gold rush were substantial. Whole indigenous societies were attacked and pushed off their lands by the gold seekers called 49ers. Outside of California, the first to arrive were from Oregon, the Sandwich Islands, and Latin America in 1848. Of the approximately 300,000 people who came to California during the gold rush, about half arrived by sea and half came overland on the California Trail and the Gila River Trail. 49ers often faced substantial hardships on the trip. While most of the newly arrived were Americans, the gold rush attracted thousands from Latin America, Europe, Australia, and China. Agriculture and ranching expanded throughout the state to meet the needs of settlers. San Francisco grew from a small settlement of about 200 residents in 1846 to a boom town of about 36,000 by 1852. Roads, churches, schools, and other towns were built throughout California. In 1849, a state constitution was written. New constitution was adopted by referendum vote, and future states interim first governor and legislature were chosen. In September 1850, California officially became a state. By 1852, the gold rush had peaked, with prospectors extracting some 81 million worth of gold from the ground. The value of the mined gold leveled off to around $45 million a year by 1857, and the rush was over, but the Great Migration that the rush sparked never really